has changed our lives for the better and what we are experiencing on a daily basis. And so we are so amazed by this technology that we love to share about it. Now, tonight you'll hear incredible stories from individuals who have experienced the LifeWave technology, especially the X39, but we will be talking most definitely about many of the other technologies that LifeWave has to offer and the beautiful changes that they have experienced. Now, our favorite patch to talk about is the X39, and it is a wearable light technology in the form of a patch. And when you look at the patch, in its center is a crystal structure. And the crystal structure is activated by our body heat, also known as our infrared light. So you place the patch on your body or on your clothing, as long as it's within 3 inches of your body heat, it will activate the center of the patch. The patch takes in our infrared light and reflects it back to us like a mirror in the form of a specific wavelength or frequency. And it's that frequency that helps stimulate our body to do something that it already naturally does, but maybe along the way it forgotten how to do it, or it slowed down its processes of doing that. And in the case of the X39, it activates a protein called GHK-Cu peptide. Look it up for yourself. What is this peptide capable of doing? It's already in our body, but now we're getting them in a better level, increased levels, and those benefits are amazing. It is a non-transdermal patch, which means nothing from the patch is entering your body except your own light being reflected back to you. Now, there's a few housekeeping rules. When you are sharing, raise that virtual hand, press that react button, and share with symptoms only. No diagnosis name so we can remain compliant. Tell us how you felt before you used the patches, what patch you used, and what experience you have had since using the patches. And keep your shares as concise as possible to give people as much time as available to share so many people can raise up those virtual hands. So thank you, everyone, and share, please. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Dr. Annabelle. And we have Dr. Pamela Lewin is joining us today. She's going to help to answer questions that you guys have with Dr. Annabelle. So thank you for Dr. Lewin. All right. Let's start out with Patty.
Well, hello, everyone. Happy Monday, LifeWave community. Roxanne had asked me to share. I was on yesterday and I shared, but for those of you who didn't hear, my story is I turned 32 yesterday. ×2. But I have to tell you, I feel really good. I feel like I could be 32. It's the patches. So, high blood pressure, cholesterol, all that stuff, all that good stuff. But I'm actually back on track. But I've been using them for 3 years. I also had open heart surgery 5 years ago. So after my surgery, my doctor says, you're going to start feeling good. And I felt better, but I thought, well, am I going to feel really good? But it wasn't until I started using the patches. So I use X39, X49 every day, Eon at night. I do other patches as well, but they give me a lot of energy. I feel really good, have a lot of mobility, flexibility. And I like to play pickleball. So today's Monday. I played today for a few hours. And I just love the patches. So we like to say 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Give yourself a rest. Be patient. Drink a lot of water. And you will get your miracle. But you need to be patient. It took me probably at least 8 months, 10 months, starting to get some of the numbers more in line. Then it was, 2 years, feeling really good. And here I am 3 years later. So actually almost 3.5 years. So being patient and consistent, very consistent every day. And then, of course, it's all kind of comes together, the diet, the exercise. So thank you for letting me share.
Thanks, Patty. That was a great share.
Thank you.
Dr. Pamela.
Let me get unmuted here. Hi, Michael. Thank you for inviting me on your call.
Well, thanks for coming.
Oh, I have had a number of things. Sometimes it's hard for me to decide which story really to share, but tonight I'm going to share one that has with me. I only realized it a few weeks ago, and I said to myself, hey, you had surgery about 26 years ago on the right mammary gland. And because of that, I was numb under my right arm and towards my back all this time. But then I realized, hey, I can feel my back now. And this has been because I've been on the patches for these last 5 years. All the time before that, it was densely numb. But as I've been using the patches regularly, consistently, the feeling has come back. And I'm really glad, because nerves do regenerate. It takes them a long time to do that. And who knows, mine may have been on the way, but it has been able to do that a little bit quicker, as far as I can see, since I've been on the patches. And there's also something else that I wanted to share, because basically, one of the things that this does for you is that it resets your genes, about 4,000 genes, to a younger, healthier you. I went to a birthday party of the mother of a friend of mine who just turned 80. And that means she's a year and a half younger than I am. And all the people at the party that I knew were coming up to me saying, hey, I haven't seen you for these 20, 25 years. You look the same. You haven't aged a bit. I said to them, but that's my business. And I was happy to share with them exactly the reason why I'm still looking like I did. So thanks, Michael. And I'll be staying on the call. If I can help you answer any questions, I'd be glad to.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you, Dr. Pamela. Appreciate it. Lynn.
Hey, Michael. So I have a few shares for tonight. A couple are from me. So I thought I'd start with those, and then a couple of my amazing brand partners. So first of all, I never get headaches ever. And I got a really severe one. I was on Sean Atwood's show last week, which, by the way, the views are up to 68,000.
Yay.
Which
Good job.
I know I'm excited about. And his show is like a true crime show. And so I shared more than I ever have before, which was great. But the problem was because of that, it kicked off body memories from when I was little. And I developed a severe headache, like an off the charts headache. And I never get these. And the reason why was whenever I would be in the laboratory underground at the U.S. University Medical Center, after there'd be like a session, I would have to remember in vivid detail everything that was done. And I would be hooked up to wires in a machine, and they would do brain mapping and find out where the memory was, and they'd electrocute it so I wouldn't remember.
Wow.
And afterward, I'd have just really severe headaches, as you can imagine. And so when I and it's real important to remember, it's a real important part of healing from all that trauma. So after the show, because I'd revealed more than before, the headache kicked off. And I remembered the hat protocol. And so I brought my hat with me. I've never had to use it, but I used our hat protocol. So I have this is one of my running hats. So I have patches in there, and you can see some of them. And we put energy patches in there, and the glutathione and the eon. And there's a chart in our liveyoungerproducts.com that talks about the hat protocol. And as soon as I put that on my head, my whole body went, ah, it's just such huge relief instantly. And the pain went from this off the charts down to a 4. And by the next day, it was completely gone. So our hat protocol is amazing, astounding. I'd heard other testimonies about it. I'd not had to use it, but it is very effective. So I wanted to share that with people who get, because I would call that a severe migraine, except I know it wasn't a migraine, but now I can relate to people that have that. So that was amazing.
Yeah, that's great. And I know Sean Atwood has been, hot on this Epstein stuff for a long time. I followed him for a long time. I had him on a show years ago. Great guy. So I'm glad you got on his show to, reveal the truths like you do. Now, you use the hat protocol. There's going to be a lot of people, I believe, billions, are going to be exposed to this. And I've heard that upwards of 3 billion have awakened because of Jeffrey Epstein, the files release, and that's going to continue. So they're probably going to be more headaches out there, from the stress of all this. So I hope people, listen and use that hat protocol. Now, when you began early on, you started having those memories come in, and you use the Eon patch. Is that correct?
Yes, my 2 patches, I help a lot of people with trauma and anxiety, because my case was severe, but trauma is trauma. I have a lot of vets and law enforcement, people who've lost children, and the X39 and the Eon does the trick. And I can't make any guarantees, but so far 100% of the people that I've helped, that protocol's helped. And Dr. Jan Halpers Hayes says she's a friend, and she says during these times, 83% of the world is suffering from trauma. And so the X39 and Eon work for that, but this was severe. And I know we have a lot of people that have severe trauma. And you're right about the Epstein files. It's awakening people. And I'm finding with people that are my existing customers with trauma, it's kind of increasing that a bit because of all of the reveals, but the patches keep things calm again. But it is a great awakening.
Very good, very good. And we have Dr. Annabelle, Dr. Pamela, and Dr. Barbara. So would any three of you like to or all three of you, if you like, make a comment on why the patches help reduce the probably inflammation from the stress and so forth in the brain? What's actually going on with that relief?
Well, I can help in a way. She said she used Eon patch as well as X39. And definitely the Eon patch can help with inflammation. And if trauma is stored in the brain at some point and it creates some kind of inflammation there, as she says, she electrocuted that part of the brain, which I thought was very interesting. Definitely chronic trauma and chronic inflammation is one of the things that Eon is really good at alleviating. And so this is one of the, and X39 does it too, but maybe to a lesser extent. So with both of them together, it helps. And she mentioned the HAP protocol. Some people may not know quite what the HAP protocol is. And we're using 3 different patches there. One is called Energy Enhancer. One is called Eon. And then I think the third one that we have used was glutathione. Energy is a 2-patch system, a tan patch and a white patch. And the tan goes on the left and behind, and the white goes on the right and in front of the hat. And at the top, we put the Eon and the glutathione. And so all of those patches work synergistically to help improve the performance of anyone. And that makes the brain more coherent. The left side is speaking to the right side better, and inflammation is going down. So it really does help.
Says they're not broadcasting on YouTube tonight.
Go ahead, Barbara.
Since we're talking about the HAT protocol, I love it because I do use it often to avoid getting a migraine because I have a genetic disorder to see these auras. I get blind spots before the migraine hits. So if I can put my ball cap on, that blind spot keeps getting bigger till it goes off my peripheral vision, and I do not get a migraine. But one thing I wanted to add that I am going to try, I have not done it yet. I have sometimes put some additional patches inside my ball cap to experiment with. I am going to start putting a carnosine patch in mine because carnosine is good for the brain. And when I had my fall, I've had major trauma to my brain, pound. And so I'm going to experiment with it because it can do no harm. That's the great thing about the patches, right, Pam? They do no harm. Yeah. Play with them, for goodness sakes. I feel like if I get that feeling, a gut feeling or in your heart, you get that feeling that I wonder if it would work if I put it here. For goodness sakes, put it there, because that gut feeling is telling you, hey, yeah, go for it. Don't ever doubt anything. So I'm going to be working on that little experiment. So wish me some luck on it.
All right. Good. Good luck. Very good. And Lynn, did you have anything else to share? I usually have a few.
Yes, yep. I did. I have a couple more. So another one is from me. Again, I had some earwax buildup, and was kind of cleaning it out, trying to do so safely, but failed. And so I hurt my ear, but on the 10-point scale, it was about a 2. So I thought, okay, you know, lesson learned, just be a little gentler next time. But that night, I woke up in the middle of the night and the pain was a 10 and it was super sharp. And it was extremely painful and I couldn't go back to sleep. And so I instantly, I took the Alavita off. I wear my Alavita at night and I put it as close to my ear as I could. And then I took off my sleep patch, put it by my ear, and that didn't do anything. So I took 3 of the X39 patches to do the stacking protocol, and I put them all directly on where the pain was the closest. And about 2 hours later, I was able to go back to sleep, which I thought was huge. Oh, and I also threw ice wave patches on them because it was really bad. And then the next morning I woke up and it was completely gone. So I love that. And normally with the stacking protocol with the X39, I'll tell people to start with 1 and wait a few seconds, see how you do, and start with another and go up to 3. But my pain was off the chart. I didn't want to wait a few seconds in between. So I just grabbed it all and slammed it on my face and it worked.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I couldn't resist. I had a cat story I wanted to bring tonight, although that made my shares to 4 above my usual 3. But there's a cat named Orange, and there's Orange. So she's sweet. So she was a rescue. My brand partner's son and daughter-in-law found her in the barn when she was a kitten, and just out of nowhere, just by herself, and she became an outdoor-indoor cat. And last week, she came in the house and she was listless and she'd lean against the wall, which cats don't lean against the wall. And she was weaving in the house like she was drunk. And they had absolutely no idea what was wrong with her. And of course, with our technology, we don't need a diagnosis. We just need the patches. And so they took the X39 and put the X39 on her. And shortly after, she was perfectly fine. So they'll never know what was wrong with her, but she's perfectly fine.
Beautiful.
Isn't she sweet?
Yeah.
Yep. And then my last one, Jen has a picture for this too. I have a brand partner vacationing in Hawaii, which she says aloha to everyone. And her mother just turned 100 years old. She was born in 2026, turned 100 years old, and they're at one of the Hiltons, and they're at Paradise Pool. The trip was so her mother before the trip was developing severe issues. She couldn't walk well. She was very unstable. Her mental condition was rapidly declining. And before the trip, they started her on the patches. And in short order, she was doing great. So they went on the trip and they've been patching her without the trip. And her daughter says that she had, well, so I'm gonna read this because she sent a text. So they're celebrating her mother's 100-year birthday, and they keep extending the trip because she's loving her time. The patches are making this a fabulous time for the family to share together. She has more energy, and although she's older, she's stronger than she was even 4 or 5 years ago. And that before, when she get in and out of the pool, it would take a couple of really strong men or an electric pool lift to get her in and out. And now she just walks in and out. She goes up and down the stairs and just needs her daughter's arm to guide her. The lifeguards are calling her Wonder Woman. And she's really happy and content and energetic. And she said that there she is in the pool. Okay, she'll come back. So there she is. Yes, that's Paradise Pool, and she's 100 years old.
Wow.
And loving life again. She uses the X39, the X49, and the Eon. And my brand partner said that there's been a couple times that she's forgot to patch her mother, just getting busy or whatever, and there's a discernible difference. So they really have to stay consistent with the patches. And then as a side note, Michael, she also said that she saw 2 of the interviews that we did. And I'm just going to read from her because she's so sweet. This is what she texted. She said that she caught 2 of your interviews with Michael. So touching and inspiring. God is good, and so are his 2 angels with wings and the sword of the Spirit and all the armor of God that we use to protect ourselves with. So I thought that was sweet too. I wanted to share what she said.
That is good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. Beautiful.
You're welcome.
Great shares. All right, Terry.
Hi, everyone. It's been a
Hi.
while, but I thought I'd
Michael,
come on.
Diane Horvath has had her hand up from the beginning, and I think you must be missing it. I sent a text. Diane's the one that's been here from the beginning, before everybody else talked. Just
Okay,
saying.
we'll get her next then. I don't see it, but we'll get her next.
You don't see her? Oh, yeah. She's there.
Okay. Great, Terry.
Okay. Well, it's been a while, so I thought I'd come on. I feel the calling to speak about this tonight. When we started this, I was really skeptical. Fred brought it home and I was like, what? What is this? And the thought of a patch being able to do something was just beyond my thought process. But anyways, when we tried it, I was with a one patch wonder and I thought, geez, oh my gosh, this stuff feels great. And I didn't have the concept of it actually could take away my problems. Well, health problems, we'll say. I had a condition where my bladder was always inflamed, and it felt like I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. And it's almost like, imagine the bladder all red inside and there's no infection, but you do have a lot of pain. And I suffered and I never thought of anything. And I started wearing the patches, and I used to see my acupuncture all the time to help me out of these flares. It was very debilitating. And I started using the patches, and I have yet, going on our third year now, had to go see her for this condition. And it's a common, it's more common than people think, but it's not common at the same time. And we can't, in the groups I'm involved with, you really can't talk about this. And it's just, I feel like more people need to know. And God has put the people in my life that have the same condition, and I've been able to help them, and they've had the same similar results that I have had. And I really felt like somebody needs to hear this tonight. And I just wanted to share that. And there's another one that I wanted to share too, is I have flat feet. Okay. And anybody who has flat feet out there, they know sometimes when you walk long distances, it can be very painful. Okay. It's like I have no arch. And ever since I was a child, I had literally, every time I walked, it would just burn. Well, I've decided lately, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put LifeWave at the bottom of my feet. And ever since I started using LifeWave, my feet do not burn anymore when I have long hikes.
Wow, that's great. And they used to be in the military, they wouldn't take you if you had flat feet, but I lucked out. They took me and I just worked through it. But yeah, that's a great, I put the energy patches on the bottom of my feet, and it really does a lot. It helps a lot. So great point. Thanks. And Diane, go ahead.
Hey.
Hey, congratulations on making One Star Director.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I had heard about this technology, and some friends were pressuring me to join a different LifeWave team, but I specifically wanted to join under you, Michael, so I did. And I'm very glad that I did, because as anyone listening to tonight's call can tell, we always hear expert advice from one another and from physicians and nurses and everyone who can guide us and help us to make good choices on which patches might be best for us. At any rate, my husband had suffered, before I started patching him, he had suffered a catastrophic neurological event 12 years previously, which is a very long time. And he had been written off by all the doctors and everything, and he had definitely made progress once I brought him home out of the nursing home and was caring for him at home. But when I started patching him, even though he had had this thing happen to him 12 long years before, he started to make improvements immediately. He started to be able to move his arms and legs again. He exhibited strength in his arms. And he started to have more mental focus, and I could tell his vision was clearing up. He even began to speak again. So those are very huge improvements to someone who had been sick, with this thing that had incapacitated him for 12 long years, and he still made big improvements. So to me, a lot of times with these patches, there are instances with family and friends where minutes or hours, days or weeks even can mean, a life or death change. And I wish I'd learned about this technology sooner, but I'm glad that I heard about it when I did and joined when I did and everything. And so anyways, it's been a real blessing.
Wow, that's an incredible share. Wow, so you obviously have a big heart, and I'm glad that that attracted LifeWave to you and your husband. So good job. Good to hear. Thank you. Debbie.
There, I got it.
There you go.
Hello.
Hello.
I've been waiting since July of 24 to get on here and give this share. I started out as a preferred customer, and mainly because of my husband. He's had a lot of health issues over the years, and I'm always searching for something to help him. And I mean, back, I don't know, 30 some years ago, the medical doctors wanted to put him on disability. And of course, he refused, and we didn't want that. So he's struggled, but he's made it through. He's always worked and sold livestock equipment. And it was a physical job, plus, we had our own business, but it was one of those where you kind of do it all. Well, then I started in December. I mean, I think he had results, but not to the point where I wanted them. And then in December, I became a brand partner, and Roxanne had helped a lot. And she had told me about some placements. And I still wasn't, I just felt, how your gut tells you there's something's blocking him, stopping him from getting the full effect from this. And of course, he is 77 years old. So we both knew it was going to take a while. But with Roxanne's help, we were able to open that channel up. And that was on a Sunday a couple weeks ago. And he was supposed to be at the the National Farm Machinery Show, which is it's in Louisville, Kentucky, and it's a very large, it's a national farm show and thousands of people, and it's very taxing. Well, and it's very important for his business that he attend this. Well, on that Sunday, I didn't really feel like he was going to be able to make it to that show. And then that Sunday, we worked with Roxanne. And then Sunday night, he started feeling better. And of course, we've been patching all along, and we do, consistently. And now the patch, it's my miracle. The patches are working. And he, even like my grandson came here earlier and he said, Papa, you're walking a lot better. And he said, what are you doing? He said, oh, Grandma's patching me. But it's my miracle, and he had fought blood pressure problems. It had got up to like 212. The doctors wanted to put him on, which we don't doctor very much. No offense to any doctors, but we try and do everything alternative. And he refused the blood pressure medicine. And he went the other day just for a wellness check, and it was 138 over 78. And for a 77-year-old, I know they keep saying 120, but we were very happy, and he's feeling better. He's got more energy. His legs are working because he was really wobbly with his legs. And all I can say is we're lifers with LifeWave patches, but it took patience. And I get where when people say, you need to be consistent, and the older you are and the more the health issues you have, you're going to deal with this. And then I have one other share. Getting ready for that, I fell on the ice, getting ready for that show. And luckily, I went down hard, and I'm 71, but all I did was I got a small bruise on my arm, and my knee kind of was sore, and now it's perfect. So
Wow.
I felt really fortunate with that. And just one more little thing. As far as the feet, I was on here one night and somebody said since they patched, their feet didn't hurt anymore. And I never really thought about it, but my feet, I used to always say I had to buy expensive shoes. I couldn't buy cheap shoes because my feet, would hurt. And now I go barefooted in the house most of the time. My feet never hurt at all.
Oh.
And I'm the opposite of you all because I have high arches. But but it's just a miracle that he's doing so much better. Because at one point I didn't know.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Debbie. And I'll let Roxanne slip in. Roxanne, what kind of advice were you giving that you think made a difference?
They were just wanting some advice on the different patches, but Debbie, is it okay if I say what we did?
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I gave a distant Reiki healing to her husband.
Oh, good. Bonus.
And was able to clear some stuff. So
I think that was very, very important and helpful because we've done so many things, and I just felt something was blocking it. And it's been long enough. He should start, not be getting worse. And he was, and then it was like immediately.
Yeah.
The change.
That's great.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I think it's the patches too, though, not just me.
Oh yeah, many patches. Yeah, it's allowing the patches to do what they're meant to do.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing the patches, and it's just like, how you say you just have a gut feeling, and I knew something was blocking it. Something, and it would. I guess I was right with Roxanne's help. It just, and on that show, the last 3 years, it's a 4-day show, and it's a very taxing show. But for the last 3 years, he's never made it all 4 days. This year, he made it all 4 days, and we came home, and we always would come home, both of us would come home very sick. This year, no sickness.
Wow.
More energy. So it's been a miracle.
That's great. And we love to hear those miracles, Debbie. That's great.
I know I've been waiting a long time, but it came.
Well, you waited and you brought a lot. So I love it. Good job.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you, LifeWave.
And Dr. Annabelle, do you want to add? Okay.
I wanted to say that Dr. Kathy too has had her hand up, and I don't think you can see her on your screen.
Yeah, I don't know why they're not coming up. That's weird. So Dr. Kathy, go ahead.
Oh, I am here. So I have a share, and Jen, you should have some pictures. I haven't shared this one in a while, but this is Mom. She's 94. She took a misstep, and when they grabbed her arm, she had one of those bruises. And I know that it takes a while for it to dissipate, and I just thought, I'll just let it go. And then I heard Dr. Dennis on one of the doc talks say he put a patch on a bruise he had, and it started to go away. I thought, well, why not? Let's go ahead and try it on Mom. Now, the key thing here is that I didn't use the same patch every day. I used 49 one day. I used 39 one day. I had SB6. At nighttime, I had Eon. So it wasn't any one given patch. Okay. So we know these patches do quite a bit. So I would have to say that in a matter of about a week, it started to disappear. And eventually I really got kind of tired of taking pictures, as I was taking pictures every day. So I stopped. But you could see it just would fade away. Now, I don't know if you have that one picture that looks a little dark. Okay, that's the one about, I want to say, a week later. And I think I left it on there for maybe about 3 weeks. I was going at it every day, and pretty much it just pretty much disappeared. But it faded from the inside out, because usually you'll have a bruise and it will shrink. So wherever I put the patch was where the color faded.
Wow, that's incredible.
And
So
then another share with Mom.
Okay.
Okay, she wears the hat. I put the hat on her every day. She wears it for 3 hours every day. And a couple of weeks ago, they always have, like, your insurance company will want to send in someone to kind of just, I guess, make sure you're still doing your thing. You check your blood pressure, check your vitals. So he gave her 3 words to remember. It was computer, table, and radio. And he wanted her to wait 5 minutes before she would repeat them back to him. So 5 minutes later, he asked her, and she said, computer, table, radio. So the next day I said, hey, Mom, what were those 3 words? And we started laughing because she rattled them right off to me. And I'm going to go home tonight, and it's been about 2 weeks, and I'm going to ask her again just to see if she remembers. But we got a good laugh out of it. It was really funny.
That's fabulous.
Protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you guys are seeing, the doctors and nurses that are familiar with the patches, use the patches, can help you make speedy recovery and so forth, and maybe even overcome a lot of problems, issues, drugs that you would normally have to take. So that's the beauty and the value of having, our doctors that are, with the background of the LifeWave, which is unfortunately still rare at this point, but we hope to get that to a great level at some point. So, Patrick.
Hello, everybody. I'm really happy to be here. I'm a big fan of Michael GHK-Cu and been listening to him for years. So it's great to be on the team with him. I had open heart surgery in 2019, a 6 bypass operation. I almost died. And so I've been grateful to be around ever since. But I do have the problem with blood pressure still. And I've only been using this since January 8th, so 6 weeks or so, and only the X39. And my blood pressure has decreased somewhat. I would say it's gone down to a normal level, which is basically ideal, I guess. And the other thing, the big thing too, my exercise motivation has really quadrupled, you might say. I've got a rowing machine that I hadn't used for about 6 months, and now I'm doing 25 minutes a day, and it feels great, and I want to just increase my time. And I'm also doing push-ups now, which I've never done before. So that's just like, oh yeah, I do this every day now. It's just the thing. And I'm a writer. I've been working on some short stories that I sort of tailed off of working on about a year ago. Now I'm back to working on those. So I just feel this energy and this motivation. And I also wanted to mention that I do Qigong meditation. I've been doing that for about 20 years. And every day I send out energy to my whole list of people, healing energy, people in my life. So I've been, that's a solitary thing, but to be involved in a company like this is really fantastic, because to be around other people who are using healing energy technology, well, Qigong, you could call that a technology too.
Yeah.
But it's just really fantastic. It feels like a great community. And I do plan to become a brand partner probably this week. And I got this book today from Amazon.
Nice.
Just got it, so I'm looking forward to reading that.
Very good, Patrick. And looking forward to you sharing the patches as a brand partner. You've got some great results, and Qigong, great stuff. I hope it continues to increase with you because you're using it in a very positive way. And couldn't like we've heard from Roxanne, she's using energy to help people using the patches, and so that would be cool to hear maybe some success that you might have in the future. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Terry.
Hi, I have another share I thought would be very valuable to a lot of people out there. I have a brand partner that her and her husband were patching, and the husband was loving the patches, buying them for his friends, and the wife was patching along. And then after a few months, several months, she's like, I don't feel anything. Meanwhile, the husband was just like loving it. Then what happened? I had mentioned, do you have enough copper in your diet? Because the woman had actually gone through chemotherapy. She had gone through several modalities of a lot of obstacles in her health. And so she decided to get a copper cup to drink her water out of. She started drinking from that copper cup, and she's like, I feel better. And so then I gave her some samples of Celergize. I said, here, give this a try. Night and day. She's like, I feel it now. I feel it. So, we know the patches work for 96% of the population. And so a good thing to recognize, if you aren't feeling it, kind of look at your diet and supplementation.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Because if you don't have enough copper, then a copper peptide patch is not going to be as effective. So you need to have that in your diet, and Celergize will get that in there. So fantastic. Good move. Anita.
I got it. I got it. Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you fine.
Okay. I'm talking to you from my van where I've been living for about 7 weeks. And the mold journey is what I talked about in the beginning, but I'm super psyched to listen to Terry back up something that for me is like major personal. I've been an OR nurse specializing in urology for like half a century. And I know how next to impossible certain things are. In addition, for my own life, I've been like having a lot of angst about what I thought was going to be a future surgery. That's a female kind of thing, and not necessarily the bladder, but my lovely angel Roxanne spoke for me to just sort of say that her brand partner had this experience. And when I heard Terry, I thought, you know what? I'm going to open my mouth because this is, to me, a huge deal. A huge deal. Tissue recovery, all right, at 66 with a 20-year-old injury. To me, I thought everything in the world might happen, but I never thought of this one. So for me, it's amazing. Some women go through this when they have childbirth, this particular type of an injury. Other people, it happens other ways. With age, I refused hormones all of my life because breast cancer runs in my family. So given all the things, the stress, the cortisol, the life changes, the running all over the country, you name it. For this piece to show up at this time, it blew my mind. Never mind all the little baby hairs everywhere driving me crazy. The mold that's been pulling it out for like a year. And so many things. I have a journal that I need to go to volume 2 because it's really over the top of what I thought was possible. And so Terry bringing up what she did lit me up. And I had to say, yeah, pretty much a miracle, sis. So
very good.
Thanks for being here, David, for being a genius. Thanks, Michael, for doing everything you do. And thanks, Roxanne, for loving me enough to pull me in the right direction after much, much time. So it's all, it is. My life's a miracle. Never mind the patches on a daily, you know? So I couldn't be happier to be anywhere in the whole world. And today I got pricing to put graphics on my van. And it's the biggest sprinter they make for LifeWave. And I was going to call corporate and see, what am I allowed to put on there? You know,
Yeah.
why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Everybody
Absolutely.
needs to know. Everybody needs to know. So
That's fantastic.
thanks.
Michael,
Thanks,
can
Anita.
I add? There's two people that have tried to get in, Grace Garcia and Katie, who's over on live chat, and they both had shares they wanted to give, and we're being super careful. So I want Grace and Katie to please come back in. They really want to share with you, Michael, and I apologize. We apologize. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, hopefully come back over. We'd love to hear from him. Frederick.
Oh, I didn't know it was my turn. Had my hot mic before for no reason. I don't know why. That's two shows that happened to me. Very strange. But I was just thinking. I was telling Terry. I go, isn't this supposed to be cold and flu season? And I've been using the patches, going on my third year now, and no cold or no flu or no kind of sickness at all this year. Then I'm trying to think back, well, when was the last time I was sick? I cannot remember the last time I got sick, a cold or a flu. Definitely not last year. And I've had things happen, but no cold or flu. I do wear the glutathione patch like every third day. Had a little advice from someone to go a little bit longer on that, so I'm going to try that out. But nothing, no cold or flu. I'm claiming that too for this year, just because I talked about it. Yeah, can't remember last time I got sick. It's wonderful.
Wow, that's beautiful. Very good. Anybody else? Maybe there's a hand out there I don't see.
Chris is on there to the far left again, top row. I don't know what's happened, Michael, but you're not seeing them. Chris is there.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So just want to follow up on my double hernia surgery. Thank you to the urologist that spotted it, because I had no idea that I had a hernia, and thank you to him. So after a month of being out, not doing anything, I got back on the ice. My home doctor told me to not go back that soon, but I decided to go anyway, and I played, and I tested the waters basically. I kind of went slow, and then I sped up and kind of went slow just to see how it would do. And the next day I woke up and I was not in pain. I had no issues. I wasn't sore. I wasn't tight. Nothing bothered me. And then I had another game that's the same week. And again, nothing hurt, no soreness, no tightness. So after a month of being out and then get back on ice, I can attest these patches do great things, because I've heard stories of people being out for like 2 months before they can do any workouts, and I'm back in a month.
Wow, that's great. So what do you think about the U.S. winning the hockey game at the Olympics, gold medal?
Yeah, that was amazing. That Hughes kid, Jack Hughes, that scored the game-winning goal. Got a stick to the face, and that was pretty iconic. The picture of him with the bloody face after scoring the winning goal, missing some teeth. Congrats to both the men's and the women's U.S. teams for winning gold.
Oh, the women's too, huh? Awesome. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
And they went against that Canadian team. No offense to our Canadian brothers and sisters, but yeah, you guys usually get up there, but we had another miracle. We beat the Russians like 35, 37 years ago, whatever it was, and we had another one yesterday where we won the gold medal. So congratulations to all those Olympians out there. Is there someone else, Jen, has hand up? I can't see. Roxanne, I got you. Go ahead.
Hi, Michael. Hi, everyone. I'm sharing a story on a preferred customer plus about 3 levels down from me. And she had pretty intense pain after a shoulder surgery. And LifeWave was used on the shoulder. The pain went away. And this is somebody that had been taking over-the-counter pain medications daily. They applied the patches and no more pain. And this woman is a hairstylist, so she's very busy, and who knows, maybe this could be a thing. I don't know. We'll see.
Very good. And
Yeah.
I assume she's no longer on pain medications. How long was she on pain medication?
They didn't say, but it had been great. They say great outcome using LifeWave on her shoulder. She had had a rotator cuff surgery, in pain, taking just a regular over-the-counter NSAID, applied the patch, and no pain, no medications since a couple of days since using the LifeWave patches. So.
Oh, good.
They didn't say how long it had been since the surgery, so that I don't have.
Yep, definitely. Yep. So get some copper cups, everyone. So they're good to have. Drink your water from a copper cup. Get some copper in you, and that way the patches can utilize that copper and make your stem cells go wow. All right, so that's all we got for tonight. Lots of great shares. Lots of love to everyone. If you want to unmute and say good night and lots of love, we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Michael. Night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Lots of love.
Seeing everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for the great
Thank you.
shares.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.